This is Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Osdell, and this episode is sponsored by Alex Ross Art. Alex Ross Art will be at San Diego Comic-Con next month. I'm recording this in June. San Diego Comic-Con is happening in July. And anytime Alex Ross Art is at a con, it is a big deal. It is a spectacle. If you're going to San Diego, stop by and see Alex Ross Art there. See all of his paintings, his original artwork. He is truly a legend in the business. He is one of the best. He reminds us why we became fans of these characters in the first place. The stuff he's done for DC and Marvel, all the other pop culture stuff he's done. AlexRossArt.com is where you can just look at things whenever, 24/7. But if you are going to San Diego Comic-Con, booth 2415 to see Alex Ross Art. And so we are in Tinley Park. We are at Flipside Brewing, 7144 West 183rd. Flipside Brewing in Tinley Park. In the back seat, I have Erik Pizer, owner of Flipside Brewing.
That's me.
Who provided us with food. And we'll be talking about Flipside. We'll be talking about all the amazing beers. Also in the car with me, bullet to the heart. To my right, it is Audrey. In the back seat, it is Draven. Two members of Bullet to the Heart joining me. We're all coming together over food and love for music. Nice to have you all together tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, yeah. Two of my favorite things, music and food.
Same. that is essentially what this podcast is built on. That's it.
So friendships.
That's true. So I want to dig into the band, certainly, but we have hot food, lovingly prepared, lovingly provided by Flipside. So I think we should talk about the food first, so we can eat it. Audrey, can you hold up what you have there?
Yes, I have the Flipside burger here.
That is a monster.
It looks delicious.
So this is a smash burger, double smash burger, or just
a regular?
patties?
Oh, is it too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna be able to eat all
So
of
Erik,
this.
tell us what she's eating.
Our classic flagship Flipside smash burger. It's just two patties smashed down, cheese, burger sauce, and pickles. Straight up classic on a brioche bun.
Looks delicious.
And Draven, you have the same thing?
Yeah, I do. I added bacon to mine.
Pro move right
Nice.
there.
And I gotta make a comment. I'm not a pickle guy. Pickles make it, man.
Pickles,
These pickles are good.
the crunch, the salty,
crunch.
the everything. It's exactly what you need on it.
Usually not a pickle guy, so I appreciate this.
Well, I'm glad you turned a corner tonight, thanks to Flipside.
Mm-hmm.
Flipside in Tinley Park, turning people onto pickles
Since
nightly.
since 2023.
Okay, so I got the Nashville Hot. Tell me what I'm eating here.
Nashville hot chicken.
So,
You caught
So-
me mid-bite.
so I see slaw. I see what is going to be
There's gonna be slaw and pickles on there, and a nice like hot oil, which is I think the traditional Nashville sauce. It's just like cayenne and oil.
I was going to say the cayenne's about to kill me, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I like hot things, and I told my chef not to like kill anyone.
Okay, good.
So like, it's hot enough that you know you're eating a Nashville chicken sandwich, but it's friendly enough that you'll be able to finish it.
This is a gigantic sandwich. This is a substantial amount of chicken right here. Look at this.
We didn't come here to fuck around.
No, why would you? Why would you? All right.
You got your napkins?
I've got napkins. Actually, I think I'm okay with the Nashville. I'm going to need the napkins to probably wipe my eyes and blow my nose.
Yeah. I guess it's not as drippy as like a buffalo sandwich might be.
Right.
Oh, that's true.
So yeah, I'm since you can't talk. Excuse me. All the food here is just really kind of classic bar stuff. But nice too. It's family friendly, so there's a whole variety of everything. There's like good wings and salads too. So it's not just like dive bar
No, certainly not.
Shitty burgers and anything like that.
Now, when you say family friendly, I always think of mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese is one of the signature items we have.
Yeah, I
mac
saw
and
that.
cheese.
I
Yeah,
saw the
it's
mac
a
and
killer
cheese.
mac and cheese, and then they use that base cheese sauce and they doctor it up and make like a nice beer cheese for it. So we use that to top on our. We've got like a Philly sandwich, like a cheesesteak, the mac and cheese, and then we got a nice pretzel. What brewery? Drinking beer doesn't have a big soft pretzel along with beer cheese and whole grain mustard.
And that's the secret for breweries. Keep pushing the pretzels. That'll
Yeah.
keep people drinking.
Yeah, just soaks it up just enough and gives you something to do with your hand when it's not lifting the beer to your mouth.
This Nashville Hot is really good, and it's not
Crazy.
It's not trying to kill me.
No, it's making it, but you're eating a hot chicken
And
sandwich.
that's what I love about spicy food is when I can enjoy it. There's some heat, but it's not a contest to see if I can actually finish it without tearing up or hating my decision.
100%.
This is great. All right, so food menu. Let's dive down the food menu just a little bit more. You talked about mac and cheese. You talked about the Philly. You also have salads.
Yep. Right now we have just a Southwest chicken salad, which is exactly what you expect it is, but it's good. The Chipotle ranch in there is another kind of sneaky, spicy one that could trick you if you're not ready for it. And then this Friday we're launching kind of a new summer menu. It's going to have a summer salad with like pickled watermelon and feta, and I forget everything else because I haven't finished it. But I tasted it the other day, and it's got like a lemon mint vinaigrette, and it's really, really good.
Interesting.
And I don't like salads because they're just boring to me. I want something that I can pick up and eat with my hands. And the salad, you gotta get all dainty with a fork.
Vegetables. Are you kidding me? And for appetizers, you have. I didn't ask you for these because I just thought it'd be dangerous in the car.
The wings. Oh, the curds.
Garlic curds.
Yeah, you would never get the smell out. They're super, super garlicky. They're outstanding.
Jeez.
They're far and away the number one appetizer we sell because they're just so good.
Well, I
but yeah,
gotta
you
come
can
back, I
hear
gotta
what
come back,
you can tell when
Yeah.
someone walks by like who's
orders
got
them?
some. Yeah.
I'm a big garlic guy. I'm Italian, so
Oh, yeah.
everything has
They're
garlic.
super, super garlicky. And then we also have a Brussels sprouts. They're like fried and then tossed in like a nice maple glaze.
Ooh, that sounds good.
So I get my vegetables that way.
That's the best way to get them.
The food's great. This sandwich, I don't know how I'm going to finish this in the time we have together. I'm going to try. It's a lot of food.
Well, it's in a to-go box, so you'll be okay.
Man versus food with James Van Osdale.
So we'll definitely get to the beer because this is Flipside Brewing. We'll get to the beer in a second. I should mention the address again. We're in Tinley Park at 7144 West 183rd. We are not far at all from the big amphitheater. So
Whatever you want to call it.
the Tweeter World, Hollywood Casino, the big shed out here. If you're coming to a show this summer, and there are plenty of shows, I mean, we're recording in mid-June. There's a lot to come. This is such an easy stop.
It's
before a
right down
show.
the street. We're if you get off I-80 at the Harlem exit, 149 or 148. I'm gonna make it. Never mind. It's
The Harlem exit.
I think it's 148B. B for beer. But we're just north of 180 on 183rd in Harlem, the northeast corner. And then you go down Harlem to Oak Park, and you turn left, and you're right at the World or whatever the hell it's called.
The shed.
Yeah. But it's just right there. It's super, super easy to get to. Or I think maybe you enter the parking off of Ridgeland, which again is just a couple blocks that way. It's a couple of quick turns, but we really are in a great, great spot here. And there's hotels and everything right across the street.
Oh, for sure.
The convention center's right here for some of the shows and other events that happen there. So we get a lot of traffic from all the just goings on around.
Yeah, I love it here. All right, so we'll talk a little bit about the history of the brewery. We'll talk about the beers, which are obviously the big draw. But first, Bullet to the Heart is here. This is the new EP right in front of me. Bullet to the Heart, the new EP, Death, Oddities, and Romance in a handsome CD package, a very just clever CD package. It's like a hardcover journal as you open it up, as was explained to me by Draven. I love this. Bullet to the Heart. For those who do not know the band, four-piece from the greater Chicagoland area, alt metal covering topics like mental illness, addiction, personal identity. As those topics are tackled, we're hearing towering riffs, we're hearing big melodies, we're hearing solos and hooks. This is a big-sounding band, and this is a really big-sounding EP. Let's talk a little bit about the history of Bullet to the Heart. You've been around since
2017.
2017.
Yes.
And was there like a mission? You all came together because you all liked the same stuff, wanted to create the same kind of sounds?
So we played a show, and our guitarist and our bassist were actually leaving. And we at that show we played, there was a guy named Brian Benishek. He was by himself with a guitar and a laptop, and he was just playing by himself. And we were like, we approached him after the show and we're like, hey, you know, our guitarist is leaving. Do you want to join our band? And he was like, oh, well, you know, yeah, but like I want to watch you guys play to see if I'd even be interested. So we're like, okay, cool. So we played. He watched at the time. Tom, our bass player now, was also there. And Brian initially joined the band, and then he was like, hey, I have this guy. I played music with him. He's a bass player now. We should have him audition. We're like, yeah, sure. So Tom auditioned, and then Tom came into the band, and then in 2017, Draven and I were like, we have to change our name because we were bulletproof at the time. Super generic. Everything was bulletproof.
Yeah, fresh start. You need a fresh start.
Yeah. So we were like, what can we name our band? And I wrote a song called Bulletproof, and one of the lyrics is, took a bullet straight to my heart. And Draven was like, how about we do bullet to the heart? And I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And then we adopted BTTH, and we've been going ever since.
I love it. So, on the new EP, which is really good, Revenant is it's such an obvious single. The video, as we're recording this, has already surpassed 100,000 views.
Yes, we are very thankful for that. That was a big moment for us. I'm very excited.
Oh, for sure. As I was watching it for my first time, I thought, wow, it looks like this is Hellsgate Haunted House.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, at the end of the video...
Yep.
Yes, it was.
I mean, what a great place to record music videos at.
Oh, yeah. I
was
didn't even
cool.
know how far their history went with music videos. They did stuff for Nickelback and Skillet and other big projects. And we got in touch with someone because we have a fan that works there. And he was like, go talk to the manager. And we talked to the manager. And he hooked us up with the owner. And long story short, he was like, hey, let's get you in here and let's make a movie. And we're like, dude, let's do it, you know?
Yeah.
Perfect place. I love Hellsgate, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome. We got the full Lights On tour
Yes.
before the actual
Nice.
filming. So he's like, here's all the rooms that are available. And he's like, normally we do this. And, there's going to be a zombie there, but don't tell anybody. But I'm on the radio. So, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got the behind-the-scenes tour once, like that network of paths, like behind each room. Like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
intricate.
It's super intricate, and going through that haunted house is like going through a Hollywood set.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's so, which again, perfect for this song Revenant. And I don't know if you could get any more goth than "Twisted Secrets Want Me to Keep." Morning comes the light, it speaks. Pierce the hollow devil reprieves. Prisoner chained to the darkness.
Yes.
Thank you. I try.
I mean, the song is all vibe and lyrics. I mean, that's. Tell me where this came from.
So when we were writing Death, Oddities, and Romance, I definitely wanted to, we had done the personal stuff, so I was like, I want to step out of my comfort zone and write stories, a collection of stories, like a storybook. I took inspiration from Volbeat. They do a lot of that with like Doc Holliday, and I know there's one song where he talks about a woman.
Lola Montez?
Yeah, Lola Montez. So I was like, I'm going to do a story. So when I was writing Revenant, I wanted to get back down to like the roots of what vampires are. They're very sexy creatures that are they just want to kill. That's it. They want to feed, they want to kill. Done. And
They
then
don't sparkle.
yeah, they don't sparkle in the sunlight. They're killers, and they hide in the darkness. But then I wanted to adapt like a new age, like with the daylight rings, they can go outside. Originally, it was going to be like where I changed this guy, and he was like fully in love with me. And then last minute, we got my brother to play the lead role. So I told the guys, I was like, that's not happening anymore. That's kind of gross. Like, this is my sibling. We're not doing this. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to sire him. He's going to get fed up, and he's not going to live the vampire life, and he's going to go out into the sunlight, and he's just going to just kill himself. And I thought it turned out really well. A lot of people said he looked like he was from Interview with a Vampire. I definitely wanted us to look more Victorian goth, while he looked more like New Age. So it was just like, I was just like, let's just do, vampires, Revenant, like the ghost that, you don't ever see. So, yeah.
I'm so glad I wore black for this interview. I would have felt really awkward in like a white or a pink.
We're actually all wearing black. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at us. Wow.
It's the only thing in our closet.
Same.
Yeah.
Draven, since you're kind of behind me and a little bit off camera, I suspect you've had more time to work on your burger. How's that going?
Oh, yeah. I got like one big chunk left, so I'm just waiting for the right moment to...
See, I'm making Audrey do a lot of talking right now, so I'm keeping her.
I got one big nom left, maybe two noms, but,
Depends on how hard you're trying.
Yeah.
And I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth. By the way, I love doing episodes like this with bands and brew pub owners. This is some of my favorite stuff to do. Let's talk a little bit about beer. Beer, the way people drink, or the way you encourage people to celebrate beer, Erik, is you have like a mission statement about the communal nature of sharing a beer together. That's the whole ethos behind what you're doing.
It's just it's one of those, we don't take ourselves too seriously, but we're serious about the beer kind of a deal. Like, it's just beer, it's just cheeseburgers, but we try really hard to make them good.
Beer is meant to be consumed alone or with great company. Beer is for everyone. You're all about the experience.
Yeah, I think I wrote that as a little love letter kind of to myself. Not to myself, that sounds really weird. To beer. But it was like I had a few, and I think that was probably around the same time that the Bud Light or Budweiser commercials were out there, like, oh, let's not fuss over your beer or whatever. Like, you can or you can't. I don't care what you do. I just want you to have a good time. But going back to, I used to homebrew and make beer at home, and I had a little kegerator and put the beer on tap, and people would come over and they would drink it all, which is great. And then they would apologize to me. Oh man, I'm sorry I drank all your beer. I don't make it to keep it. I'm not bringing it with me anywhere. I make it to share it. It's the same thing here. I'm the constant host of the party here. So it's just about I want people to come in and have a good time. And if you want to get nerdy about the beer, get nerdy. If you don't, just enjoy it. I don't care as long as you're having fun.
Yeah, there's room for both types.
Yeah.
At this place.
And there's room for both types with the types of beer that I have. It's a lot of really classic styles and clean, crisp, straightforward beers. I don't mess around with a lot of goofy flavors. You're probably not going to see me throw a birthday cake into a beer here.
You're not doing some kind of weird kiwi infused.
Probably not. I'm never going to say no, but I haven't done it yet.
So you have a really great drinkable social beers. Yeah, you've got the higher ABV type stuff.
Sure.
But the Flipside lager is such a slam dunk. Mm-hmm. For I'm going out with friends, want to have a couple beers. It's 4.2.
Yeah, it's just a classic American lager. It's a lawnmower beer.
A lawnmower beer.
Yeah,
I like that.
Nice.
It's just for, we are in a car, so calling it a road soda might not be appropriate, or would. I don't know if that's too spot on. I definitely don't condone that. That's a joke to anyone actually listening.
Road soda.
Yeah. But
While you're parked.
But no, it's a perfect beer for just
hang on.
sitting out on your patio.
Bullet to the heart. Have you heard the term road soda before?
No.
First time.
I've never.
And I love it.
I
love
love that.
Next single.
Road
soda. Yeah, how do you got that up?
We can find a way, man. I don't know.
Anything's possible.
So for those who are kind of amateur craft beer drinkers, can you explain the differences in IPA? Specifically, what is a hazy IPA? What's a traditional IPA? I think that's something that we all kind of pretend to know but don't.
Sure. Well, hazy IPAs are a little bit newer. They kind of started in New England. You might hear them called a New England IPA or Northeastern IPA. I just call them hazy because I'm in Chicago. I'm not from the Northeast or New England at all. But they're typically old school traditional IPAs. Think like Bell's Two Hearted, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, Torpedo, stuff like that. They've got kind of an aggressive bitterness, real pine, grapefruit peel, citrus sort of flavors to them, but with a pretty aggressive bitterness that really kind of is off-putting to a lot of people. Whereas hazy IPAs are much less bitterness and a little bit more juicy, just because of the yeast and hops used, which the haze kind of turned into a byproduct of people throwing a stupid amount of hops at different times of the fermentation process and all that, and then it just kind of became a defining part of the style to the point where they named it a name. Calling it an IPA is kind of a weird thing at all at this point. It's not bitter. India Pale Ale, like IPA doesn't mean that anymore. It just means IPA. It's its own thing. It's kind of separated from being this English style and long boat trip to India and all that stuff. But it's just kind of like it turned into its own thing, its own kind of self-definition.
And your straight-up IPA is the last stop.
Yes, sir.
And
Speaking of Bell's Two Hearted, once upon a time I was at home trying to clone Bell's Two Hearted, and I had a recipe, and I tweaked it here and there, and then started changing some of the hops out, so it barely resembles that at this point. But I've been making a version of that beer for well over 10 years now at different places across my career, which is it's pretty cool.
how often are you inventing or concepting new beer?
Not as much as I'd like, and also probably more than I should.
I get that.
Because it's, I want to keep things fresh and interesting on the tap lists, but if I'm trying to, I started canning some of the beers and packaging them, and if I need a new label for it, I work with an awesome artist, Andrew Craig. He just can't, he can turn out some great art and stuff quickly, but he can't keep up with me telling him every 3 days, I need a new label. He's got a day job. He freelances for other people. So sometimes it's a little too much because of that, but I usually have 12 to 14 beers on tap, and I think I really only have like 4 that I plan to always keep on, and the rest I try to rotate through or brew a couple of times here and there, but yeah, somewhere in between. So it's a pretty regularly rotating variety there.
I want to talk about one specific beer, which will allow me to segue back to Bullet to the Heart. Let's talk about Haunted Past.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
I respect that. Seems like an appropriate way to bring it back to you, right? That's a delicious beer.
Thanks. Yeah, like I was telling you, it's an English dark mild. There's more and more of them out in the market right now, but that was like a homebrewer beer a long time, like 10 years ago, because there's no like commercial example of it in the United States, and there's not even that many in England. So it just like existed in homebrewing textbooks and recipes floating around the internet. But I tried one once, and it's just an awesome style. It's under 4% ABV. Mine's a little strong at 3.8%. But it's like just a nice English brown ale. So there's a ton of flavor and toffee and caramel and maltiness, and body to where it like feels like you're drinking something. But you can drink a lot of them because they're so easy to go back. So that's just like a weird passion project that I've had over the years, and I love that there's more and more places that are doing them now. But I really like mine.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Again, that's the Haunted Past. The beers here are wonderful. But as promised, the segue back to Bullet to the Heart. Going back into this EP, Death, Oddities, and Romance, post-mortem, it's a power ballad of sorts.
Yeah, I would say that. Absolutely.
Is this about a one-sided relationship? What's this about?
Ooh. This is the heavy one.
This is the sad boy time.
Postmortem it's actually my story. So the character in the story is me. When I was 14 years old, I struggled with depression, anxiety, and suicidal tendencies. And then when I was 22, I had an 8-centimeter ovarian cyst burst and bleed a liter of blood into my abdomen. And it was like first time since I was 14, I did not want to die, and I begged the universe to save me, and I had been dating him, I think, for like 3-4 years at that time, and
She means Draven, not Erik.
Yes, Draven, yes. It's my husband now. And this post-mortem was kind of like, would have been my final goodbye to Draven had I passed that day.
Yeah, I misread that one completely. Wow.
It's totally fine. I love that people interpret songs how they want to, but that's just what postmortem means to me, which is why it's aptly named that. And so yeah, I'm glad to be alive and thriving at now 28 years old. I do still have my days. everybody does, but it's okay to not be okay and just take care of yourself and take care of your mental health.
I've got to think having this outlet is helpful, the creative release.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I wanted to join a band in the first place, was because this passion, I wanted other people to not feel alone, and that's where my persona came in. I conquered my darkness, so I want to help others go towards light and conquer theirs. So that was ultimately why I segued into music. It was something where I could just go away for a while and get in a good headspace and then come out and feel like somewhat okay to function and go along in life.
And that's the beauty of music, right? We go to a concert for a couple hours, and it's a way for us to check out from all the bullshit in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
And just lose ourselves in songs and music and community.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do for our fans. I want to do for our bloodline. I want to be that kind of escape for them to come out and just have a good time.
All right, well, since we're talking about heavy songs from the album, let's talk about Black Widow.
Ooh, yeah.
That's right, but ooh,
Which
yeah.
I'm frightened to speculate about meaning, but this is a revenge story.
Absolutely. Now this is a whole 180. This is about
That's why we start with this one.
yeah. This one is about a woman who is fed up with creeps at the bar hitting on her, so she
Not this
decides-
bar. Not at Flipside Brewing.
Not at Flipside. This
We're
is
light
a
on
family.
creeps here.
Yes, family friendly. But she creates this trap in this bar where everybody's in on it. The bouncer's in on it. The bartender's in on it. And then you got the mastermind. Draven's the mastermind in the video that sets everything up. And she lures these creepy men into the bar and basically takes care of them, wipes her hands clean. They clean everything up, and she does it all over again.
I love the visual sensibility you bring
Thank
to
you.
lyrics and the approach. I mean, I love that you're a storyteller.
Thank you. And it has to also do with Draven and our videographer, Akash. They will take my lyrics and they'll make a visual concept as well. They'll storyboard it and get together and direct it. And they basically just take the lyrics and go, oh, this would look cool here, or that story would look cool there. And then I put some of my input because I wrote the lyrics. But it's mainly him and Akash are the ones that just bring it to life, and I appreciate them because I write all the lyrics. It's exhausting to do everything.
Well, I feel like in a way your lyrics are the script. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And like me doing production work with Akash who's directing, I feel like we take your script and we build another story that coincides with the story you've written, like visually, and we try to put that on camera. Because some of the stuff doesn't work on camera, you know? Like just straight up. So we find like an artistic way to tell that story that is in your script and bring it to life on camera. And to me, it's such a great creative outlet to not only be the drummer in the band, but to also like have that visual aid as well that we created from scratch.
Absolutely.
You know, and like we do the whole thing where we scope out locations, we make some calls, you know, make a prop list, wardrobe, makeup, everything, you know, just as professional as we could make it with our budget. And it's just a blast to do, and I love it.
Yeah.
I mentioned when I first kind of introduced who you were, who the band is, big hooks on the songs. For me, some of the biggest hooks, or the biggest hook, is on Graveyard Lovers.
Oh, okay.
It's a fun one. It's a fun one.
That's a fun one.
Graveyard Lovers, they'll scream our name, thought I was dying, but it was the pain.
Yes.
Tell me about that one.
You're like making her blush.
I just never had my lyrics read back to me, so this is.
I warned
that's a
you.
fair- So Graveyard Lovers, I really like Tim Burton. I love his style, so I
Obsessed with Tim Burton. You mean?
I've seen all of Tim Burton's movies. I love him. So, when we were writing this one, I kind of got this like cutesy poppy type vocals, and I told the guys, I was like, hey, I know we're writing like heavy songs, but like I've got a pop idea for this. Just bear with me, please. And they're like, okay. So I took inspiration from Tim Burton's A Corpse Bride. There's a corpse. She's just in the graveyard. She's lonely. A man stumbles in, but he falls in love with her. And then they have this big, gorgeous wedding where like his side of the family comes, her side of the family comes. They're dead, they're alive, and they just all come and have one big happy family together. And I also wanted to put elements of like with the music scene, like, you know, like selling your soul, and it's like, yeah, let me sell my soul so I can make it big, please. So I kind of wanted to put that in there too, because it's like I am ready, world. Whoever's listening, I am ready to go. So, yeah, it was just supposed to be like something like cutesy and fun.
It's so funny. I think Erik and I are of a different generation. Like, back in, let's say, the 90s, you couldn't have, it wasn't cool to have aspirations to be successful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, you never wanted to be a sellout, right?
Right.
No.
But
And now it's okay to actually want to have a career.
yeah. Give me the zeros at the end of the check.
Exactly.
I'll give you the keys tonight.
You don't have to sell out. You could just buy in. You know.
I
There
think
it is.
I think Five Fingers said it
That's
best.
it. That's it.
I didn't sell out. I bought in. So here we go.
That's perfect.
The thing is, I mean, it's like any career, though. You know what I mean? You go to college, you spend all this money and time and effort, and then it's like, oh, I do this for a living. It's like, I want to do music for a living.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't. I've never understood why that was like a bad thing. You know,
Agreed.
But it's so frowned upon to be like, oh, that's what you want to do, and it's like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Like
And
this stuff shows. That's I want to live on the road. Like that's my dream.
And the other thing is that people don't understand is it takes money to make money. So you really have to don't be
It's the truth.
afraid to spend on yourself so that you can get where you want to be. Because like he said, like even with college, you spend thousands of dollars to get a degree to like get somewhere in life. It's the same thing with music. You
Yep.
gotta spend the money to earn it. That's it. Don't be afraid.
One of the many reasons I love having bands and restaurateurs, brew pub owners together, the hustle is so similar.
Absolutely.
Being an independent restaurant owner, brewery owner, being an independent artist, like the hustle, the marketing, the grind, I mean, there's so much overlap there.
There is.
Yeah.
I mean, my tap list is like a set list every
Yeah.
day, right? Like, what do the people want to see? What do they want to hear? What do they want to drink? Even the food is the same, too. Luckily, I found myself a chef that is doing a great job, and I don't have to get involved at all. He can do whatever he wants. And it all comes out the same. But it is like that. Like James, I was saying before, like, a lot of music references, and like I think of it the same way. I've got a pile of merch in back. It's just like the merch booth at
I was
a
gonna
show.
bring that up.
Yeah.
I was like, you gotta wear your brand.
You got to wear the brand, and you do
Yeah.
have to invest in yourself and bet on yourself. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, yes, it's fun, but I work my ass off to do it.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to do, but like, I have something in me. I never fancied myself creative, but here I am writing recipes and naming beers and doing all this marketing and making sure that everything looks the same. So apparently, I've got some creative outlet like in me that I need to share with the world. So
Oh, yes.
that's what I'm doing. It's just
Well,
like
and you got to take that leap too.
Yeah.
As a business owner, like you
Yeah.
have to do with a band. I mean, you got to risk it all and be like, hey, I'm going to go on tour for 30 days at a time, and I don't know if I'm going to come back to a job. Mm-hmm. But like,
Yeah.
you don't care. You know what I mean? Like, you want to experience that and go
because
out
the
and-
opportunity to do it
Yeah,
the next
here-
time doesn't happen. If
Here
you
are my
don't do it this
chips.
time.
I'm all in.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You got to
absolutely.
you got to
Fingers
jump,
crossed.
and you might not have a parachute.
Yep.
One more song to mention off the EP, "Death by the Sea." This is seems like a literal expression of the siren song.
Absolutely. You're right on the nose. It is
Yeah.
about a siren that lures pirates in and takes them down to the sea and eats them up.
I love
Yeah.
it.
So that one was a. I love it.
Like a smash burger?
Absolutely.
smash-
Just like a
Do
smash
humans
burger.
taste like smash? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that was a fun one to write. Brian, the guitarist, when he originally wrote it, he wrote this it's very like, it's in like 6/8, 3/4 kind of
Yeah.
vibe, and she's like, oh, that sounds like a sea shanty.
Yeah, I
And he
felt
was
like
like-
I was on a boat.
Yeah,
like,
he's like, I don't hear it, and she's like, well, I'm gonna write it, and we're gonna make this a song, and like when we started doing this concept of these themes of the storybook, it just kind of fit right in there.
yeah.
I love it.
know?
That's your sea shanty.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I love it. Okay, so the band Bullet to the Heart, you're on tour a lot. You've got a busy summer as we're recording this.
Oh, yeah.
Supporting Gemini Syndrome, Top Fuel Saloon, July 9th, Hobart Art Theater on the 11th, and then the remainder of July you're opening all over the place for Texas Hippie Coalition.
Yeah, and we
Yep.
are so excited. We already played with them at the Forge. They are my kind of people. I love them to death. I am so ready to tour.
I love it. Well, I'm glad we caught you before those gears started grinding.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
so again, the new EP for Bullet to the Heart is right here. Visual Aid, Death, Oddities, and Romance. Where should people go? What's the best place to recommend we send them?
So if you go to our Facebook page, we have a link tree that will literally send you everywhere, like Twitch, our merch site, Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. Like if you find that link tree on our Facebook page, you will go everywhere. If you also search up Bullets to the Heart, you'll find us anywhere. Because, like, literally everywhere you look, we are there. You will find us.
Yeah, we're available anywhere there's a search bar. We're most active on YouTube, Instagram right now, and Spotify, probably with the new music and stuff.
Yes.
And then if you are interested, come have fun with us on Patreon. We show you exclusive demos, exclusive old like rejected merch designs and rejected songs, and we do a cover once a month. We also have a episode every month called Skillet to the Heart. It is a cooking show.
Oh, I love it.
Where everybody takes turns cooking.
Except
every
for
month.
me.
So,
You
except
will
for
not
her.
find me cooking. Only
She
the
doesn't like
boys cook.
cooking. She likes to clean though.
Like cleaning. I don't like cooking.
So me and the boys cook. We love to do it. It's my other like creative passion is food. So it's really fun to do that every month, and people get a kick out of it. And we're really goofy, and so it's a lot of fun. But
You should open up a restaurant. It's easy.
Super easy.
I wish, because I would be doing that too.
I don't recommend it.
I mean,
It's not for the faint of heart.
I'm just baiting Eric. All right, Bullets to the Heart. I love the new EP. Sounds great. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as for where we're at, our location, can't thank you enough, Eric, for the hospitality. Flipside Brewing in Tinley Park. Let's see the address again. I should have this memorized. 7144 West 183rd. Again, right off Harlem, right off 80 West. I mean, or 80 East, I guess. I get off on 80 West.
Either way.
Right off 80. It's right there. And as we're recording this at the beginning of the summer, it is a summer of live music out at that big shed. This is the easiest place to stop. Have a great meal. Have a great beer or two, or tree.
Or three. A couple two tree.
Couple two tree.
We open at 11 every day, so stop by for lunch. We're open till 10 during the week, 11 on Friday and Saturdays, 7 on Sundays. You can catch us at usually Instagram and Facebook at Flipside Brewing. Our website, like flipsidebrewing.com. I'm out of creativity, so that's what
Perfect.
we do. Straightforward.
Food is great. The beer is great. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, burger was amazing. Like honestly.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
absolutely amazing.
I think we are in a smash burger era of burger eating. I think the big, gross 10-pound burgers.
Meatloaf on a bun.
Yeah. Like,
Well, I never understood why when you make a bigger burger, they stack it. Because my mouth doesn't open that.
No.
You know what I mean?
you don't have one of those cartoon jaws.
Yeah, but I never understand. Like they're like, oh, hey, we have a new burger, and it's like 10 inches, and you're like, who does
Who can
that?
unhinge their
You
jaw
know
and
what
do
I
that?
mean? Like, if anything, you would
Also,
build it
a burger
long-ways.
is a sandwich between two pieces of bread. I want to
Yeah.
pick it up and hold it with my hands, not have to use a knife and fork.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's just
absolutely.
me.
Yeah.
That's all of us. You speak for us all.
Yes.
You're the Lorax. You
I'll
speak
do
for
what
the
I
trees.
can. I speak for the beers.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, James.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you.
And thank you, Alex Ross Art, for sponsoring this episode. If you like what you saw, if you like what you heard, please tell a friend.